Next time you put on your ring or necklace, take a moment to think about this. You're engaging in a tradition that our ancestors have been doing since longer than recorded history. But how old is jewelry? And how did it evolve into the jewelry we wear today? Stick around. By the end of this video, you'll not only learn about the fascinating origins of jewelry, but you'll have a much deeper appreciation for the pieces you wear every day. So, how old is this tradition of wearing circles around our fingers and necks? You might think a few thousand years ago, ancient Egypt, maybe Mesopotamia. The answer is 30 times that. The first evidence of humans wearing jewelry dates well back into the Paleolithic period. To highlight just how incredibly ancient that is, the Paleolithic period is pre-Stone Age. The archaeological discovery was discovered in Bismoon Cave in western Morocco. It was 33 shell beads, dated between 142,000 to 150,000 years ago. These turned up during excavations done between 2014 and 2018. Made from two species of sea snail shells. These beads were likely strung up as necklaces. Oh, wow, wrong side, that's embarrassing. Or earrings. The beads show intentional signs of craftsmanship, with smoothed edges and drilled holes. I said that like 5 times. Good lord. So the question is why? Why did we start wearing circles around our fingers and necks? It highlighted the expansion of our consciousness. No longer was survival our only focus. We began to question life, our purpose, and our place in the world. I feel like these are super common internal existential questions we have today, but you have to realize that survival back in those days was so demanding that they probably didn't have the luxury of time to sit around and ponder such lofty ideas. This led to a beautiful phenomenon, the dawn of culture. Of course, we had culture even before we were humans, but now it was beginning to get deeper and much more vibrant. This was the seed for the incredible complexity that we see in cultures throughout the ages all the way until today. My mic died in the middle of recording, like right here. Brutal. While early humans were really focused on survival, life was centered around the group. Art, when it existed, was likely a communal thing. It probably often served a shared purpose, like communicating beliefs, telling stories, or marking important milestones. That's all to say the focus was on the community, less so the individual. But compared to other forms of art, like wood carving or perhaps painting, what's especially fascinating about jewelry is that it's worn on the body, and that might not seem very significant at first thought, but jewelry provided an outlet for self-expression. Not just as an object displayed for others, but by wearing it on their body, it became intertwined with their own identity. This shift from communal survival to the recognition of the self as being distinct from the group, this all marks a pivotal moment in the evolution of human consciousness. Early humans were starting to see themselves as not just part of the tribe, but individuals with their own desires, stories, and expressions to share with the world. The creation and wearing of jewelry is a physical manifestation of this profound shift in our thinking. That's why I find jewelry so fascinating. It's like it's a manifestation of such a crazy achievement of evolution. Moving a bit forward in time, humans obviously continued this tradition. It seems throughout the Paleolithic period, the most common types of jewelry were made from seashells, teeth and bones, that's some real caveman shit, ivory, stones, and clay, even organic materials like wood. The tradition continued through to the Neolithic period, which began about 12,000 years ago. The Neolithic period was also known as the Stone Age. By this point, the tradition of wearing jewelry was already 1,000 centuries old. For context, the ancient Egyptian pyramids are 45 centuries old. 45 compared to 1,000. What? What? It's just mind-bogglingly ancient. It was ironically during the Stone Age where humans actually first started making jewelry out of metal. It's believed that humans started working with copper about 10,000 years ago. There's not a lot of reliable information about copper jewelry that's this old, but it seems to be agreed upon that the earliest example we've found of metal jewelry is a copper pendant that was found in northern Iraq and was dated to 8,700 BCE. That's about 10,000 years old. That's crazy. That in itself is twice as old as the pyramids. What's crazy is I feel like people generally conceive the pyramids as being like the oldest thing that people have created. 45 centuries, 1,000 centuries. What? That's so insane. Even the copper jewelry, it's twice as old as that. It was finally during the Bronze Age that, with our mastery of metalworking, you really began to see jewelry that's more familiar to us today. Humans learned to bend, shape, and form metal in much more complex ways. Metals that are more familiar to us today, like gold and silver, were first thought to be used in jewelry in about 3000 to 5000 BCE. A very old style of ring that's still around today is the signet ring. In ancient Egypt, for example, they became a popular way for pharaohs to display their name as a sort of royal seal that they could actually wear on their own body. No questioning who the pharaoh was. Bing! Oh, who are you again? It's like in that dilemma where there's a clone of someone or someone who looks really similar. It's like, oh, I don't know who the real one is. Oh, man. Anyways. Similar to today, gold was often reserved for royalty or for the few that could afford it. Silver was another prized metal that was also expensive, but generally more affordable. Interestingly though, in ancient Egypt, silver was believed to actually be valued higher than gold. This is because the metal was rare in the region compared to Egypt's relatively abundant sources of gold. I believe that they referred to it simply as the white metal, and it was like this super rare thing, even though silver is substantially more common in the earth than gold. So as time progressed, style and fashion continued to grow drastically between the different time periods, with new designs reflecting the ever-changing cultural landscapes. By the way, that's another really cool thing, and I guess it's an inherent quality of art in general, but I love how it reflects, it's almost like a time capsule of a culture's beliefs. It's a physical manifestation of those beliefs. And what's different about jewelry compared to those other types of art is that you wear it on your body. It's like a way for you to physically embody those beliefs, even physically embody the culture as a whole. And if you wear jewelry that's inspired by different time periods, you're really paying homage to those cultures. And physically embodying it, I feel like just makes it even more special, like a level more special. I don't know. I think it's really cool. So, the next time you put on your favorite piece of jewelry, you're taking part in a tradition that goes back tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of years. A tradition that's constantly evolving, yet deeply rooted in humanity's ancient desire to express individuality and meaning. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I learned a lot creating this video. It's one of my favorite things about doing all of this is I learned so much too. And hopefully I was able to convey some interesting information that's new to you, and you walk away with more knowledge and a deeper appreciation for what we probably often just consider everyday objects like jewelry. Hopefully you look at your favorite piece of jewelry with a deeper appreciation like I do now. Hundreds of thousands of years. You're directly connecting with your ancestors from almost countless generations ago. So yeah, thanks for watching. By the way, if this type of content is enjoyable, I'd love to delve deeper into this section and create a video exploring exactly how jewelry changed over time, including its materials, craftsmanship, and even style and fashion throughout the centuries, all the way from the Bronze Age till now. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. These videos do take a lot of effort to make, so I'd rather make something that you actually find enjoyable.